Morning guys, welcome back to Dad's Foxbody Garage. I'm Rich. Just wanted to give you a little rundown on what we're going to try to attack today in the shop. As you can see behind me, we got pounded last night by another 8 inches or so of snow in sunny Michigan here. Yeah, it's one of those heavy snows too where you know, it's like 33 degrees and turns to slush real quick, so it's just it's a real bugger to try to shovel. But anyhow, back to what we got going on here. Sorry for the plane overhead there. Kind of close to an airport. So ended up picking up a set of old vintage powered by Ford valve covers off of Marketplace. They were a bit rough. As you can see here, I had them blasted and powder coated, and as you can see by the pits here, some were pretty bad, but I think I'm going to use this one on the driver's side because there's a lot going on, and then this one on the passenger side, you can't see it, or it's out a little more out in the open. Did get some struts. Wanted to thank everyone for some sweatshirt sales recently. Ended up affording to buy some new parts, so thank you for that. Love to sell some more. Like I said, t-shirts are coming soon, but in Michigan, it's, like I said, it's obviously still sweatshirt season. Got some brake lines for the rear, but not going to do anything with that because there is the 8.8. I did find a company, well, I'm sure everybody knows them, it's in the Fox bodies, but Team Z actually has a sister company that works in the same shop there, Fab Shop, and they do powder coating, and they're the ones that I had do the valve covers here. But they're going to do powder coating on the rear end, but I'm going to take it and get it acid dipped first. So I'm going to, once it's out of snowdrift, I will take it apart, strip it all down, pull everything out that I can, take it over, they acid dip it. I think it's 75 bucks. I think that's super reasonable. It takes all the rust off and everything. And then I'm going to get it powder coated satin black. I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, well, I could wire wheel the whole thing and then paint it with, you know, POR or whatever. I'm like, let someone else mess with this stuff, and it's gonna last 10 times longer, and it's cheap for my time versus getting it done. Yeah, no brainer there. So today what I'm going to try to do is get the front end back together as far as the suspension. I want to get wheels and tires all the way around. My original plan was I was gonna pull it out of the driveway and spin it around and pull it back in, and yeah, no, not today. I'm not screwing around with slush and slime and moving 5 cars around and all that nonsense. So I think I'm gonna focus, like I said, just on the front suspension, and if I get that wrapped up, get the brakes put on, I won't have them bled, obviously, but I want to get it rolling. Then I might hang a door, and I really like to get the fenders back on. Still have to do something with one of the bumper mounts or front end. I think it's a bumper mount. Looks like at one time they had a little, fender bender where it kind of bent one of the brackets down a little bit. I'm going to bend it up because I did notice when I first got it, you look at it and it was just a little bit crooked, and you can tell now that everything's taken apart, it just dips down a little bit, but the frame rail's good and all that. It's just like the very front of it. So got plenty to do. Picked up some slim lug bolts. Didn't realize I needed those until I went to put that one wheel and tire on yesterday or last week, and couldn't even hardly get a wrench in there. Slim wall socket, so I got smaller lugs that are flanged out at the bottom at the taper, and then they have really slim wrench that goes on them, and they're locks. So made by Gorilla. I believe it was off of the CJ Pony site. That's about it. I might do some time lapses, but you know, it's tight in here and crawling around on the floor. Probably not going to get the best angle of me, so I might just show you an after picture. Alright, see you in a bit. Hey guys, just wanted to show you something pretty slick here. I didn't plan on filming this, but as I'm putting these wheels on with these Gorilla nuts, I wanted to show you the difference here. So this is your standard 13/16 socket that would go in there. See how tight that is? And you know, as it's going in, it's scratching the heck out of the inside of your wheel here. Look at this. This is the this is your Gorilla. So it's not a hex nut. See that? It's like they're all lock nuts. Every single one of them. You get 20 of them. And then the wrench that goes with it is keyed to your nut specifically, and that has, I think it's 13/16 and maybe a 3/4 there. But then look at how much clearance is on that, guys. This is a really neat product. So, and they look nice too from the outside. Just spins all the way down. You got tons of room. They look nice. I know I need center caps, but you know, everything in time. But I just thought that was a really neat product. I think something worth mentioning. This is the try to get it in focus there. Wheel lock, GorillaKey.com. And then where my thumb is obviously the key code to match, you know, if you ever lose your socket. But I thought that was really neat. All right. Hey guys, wanted to give you an update because things didn't work out as planned, but such is life. Move forward, just keep on moving forward, right? Anyway, so I had these big plans on getting some suspension work done this weekend, and I did get a little bit done, but things kind of went sideways, like almost like 10 minutes after I made the last video. Daughter ended up being sick, had to pick her up from a sleepover. She had the flu, wasn't COVID, thank goodness. It just looked like the 24-hour kind. I guess that still goes around. But you know, that takes precedence over working on a car. And to throw a little monkey wrench into it, I have a 12-week-old puppy who has to go out like every hour on the hour. So it's been an interesting weekend. You know, wife's out of town, so it was a bit of a challenge, but we persevered. Daughter's feeling better. She went back to her mom's and got a little bit of time out in the garage. So let me show you what I've been doing. Started getting the front end back together. Getting the new struts on. Yeah, I just went with the KYBs. I know they're cheap, but you know, that's kind of where we're at these days. I'm just trying to get something on there better than what it was. As you can see, both sides are on. I wanted to mention this little tool here. This is from Maximum Motorsports. It's a little tool that's used to help get the springs on. Comes up from the bottom, just like a little flange. So if you like nest this in the pocket and then bring the control arm up, it prevents the spring from shooting out and killing you. So pretty nice. Makes it super easy, one-man job. Also did, you know, all new brake lines. What else happened? Oh, I got some my valve covers on. A buddy of mine found these online, picked them up, had them blasted and powder coated. They turned out pretty good. This one here had a lot of pitting in it, but it is what it is, you know. I mean, it's 1968 302 valve cover, which is pretty darn cool. And you know, once I get a hood on here, I mean, whatever. It's not, you know, Riddler Award material here. I mean, this is just my car, right? But it's coming along, like I always say, coming along. I did end up getting some new hardware to put the strut on that side. Went down to NPD today. You know, it's Sunday. It's awesome that they're open every day. Just picked up 2 bolts and ended up seeing the very first Foxbody ever made. It's you know, 000001. It's interesting. It's a turbo 4-cylinder, red vinyl top, vinyl interior, stick. I'll insert some pictures here. I'm telling you, if you're a Foxbody guy and you live close to Canton and you know about NPD, which I'm sure you do if you own a Foxbody, head on down. It's pretty cool to see. It's strange. It's got like a gravel guard across the bottom. But you know, I had a 79 pace car and I had a 79 Ghia. Ghia was my first Foxbody. And they're just cool, you know, they're different, they're cool. Take a look at it. Really neat. So I don't know where we're at. Sold my Cobra wheels. Had a set of original Cobras. Like I said in the previous video, I call them 20-mile-an-hour wheels. They look great, like if you don't get close, but if you get close, you can see that the back, like through the spokes, had started to flake. And you know, it was my intention of sanding that down or grinding that down and just like painting it silver or something, but I changed directions. I ended up going with the skinnies. You can see here, got the skinnies to go up front, and then on the back you can see I got the what do they call those? Street radials or something like that. But yeah, nothing's ever easy. This side went on beautifully. The other side hits the wheel well. So from what I found online, I'm gonna have to get out the 10-pound persuader and have a little cardio inside the wheel well and make a little room for the tires back there. You know, a buddy of mine mentioned, oh, why don't you go with 255s? Yeah, I could, but I like the 275s and I already got them. So I did see online that you can get them to fit with the back spacing. I don't remember what this was, 4.5, 5.5, whatever it was. You can get them to fit. It's not missing by much. You know, if I had 1/4-inch spacers in there, I could call it a day, but I'm not loving the idea of spacers. Anyone out there that's used them in the past, who's had good luck with them, let me know. Because I can't say as I ever ran them on anything. I don't remember. Anyhow, that's it for about now. I do have some other things that I'd be looking to sell if anyone was interested. I do have, I can clean them out and show you better pictures, but I do have a Performer RPM intake, never been ran. I'm kind of hesitant on selling that because I do, you know, I paid good money for that, and you know, it's a good intake. I might use it in the future, but I know I'm never going to use this Holley. It's a Holley single plane. It's very similar to an Offenhauser intake. Anybody interested in that, hit me up. And I do have an underdrive crank pulley. I'm never going to use that. And I don't know, that's about it. You know, anybody looking for carb parts, you know, I'm always available for carb parts. These are just parts carbs up here. I don't know if I ever showed you guys what was the demise of the motor that was in here. I know I talked about it with friends, but so I kept the piston that was in that car. You can see that here. Flip it around. See that little mark there? So when I got this car, I was told, yep, it runs. It was out of a drag car, which clearly, you know, not much drag car-ish stuff in it. It's like a B-cam, and that was it. That was this block here. So it had an Edelbrock intake on it, and some other little bolt-on Go Faster parts. You know, these headers were on it. But I pulled the intake off and actually put the Holly on to get it running, and went to crank it over, and it turned a quarter turn, and it ended up hitting this. This was up inside the cylinder. I'm thinking it used to be a nut. So don't really know how that ended up in the motor, but I had a good idea that something was probably in there because it didn't turn over, and I could turn it back the other direction about to the same point. So I ended up taking it apart because I figured if there was something in there, you know, it caused some issues. So I popped the head, saw that smile on the piston, and instead of just, you know, taking it out, putting it back together, I had a suspicion that the piston ring, upper piston ring, may have got collapsed. The groove may have got collapsed because of that. And when I ended up pulling the motor and pulling that all apart, my suspicions were true. I believe the ring is still stuck in there. So that would have been bad. So anyhow, I don't know how we went off on that tangent. But yeah, so this week we're going to continue working on the car. Got a little time on my hands. Selling the Cobra wheels to Peter, another Foxbody guy. Thanks, Peter. Gave me a little bit of money so I could invest in some new calipers and pads. Ended up going to O'Reilly's for those. NPD's price was a little bit high. But they're coming in tomorrow, so that means everything on these brakes are going to be brand new. Master cylinder, assist, vacuum assist diaphragm, all the lines all the way back, and when I do the new 8.8 in the back, I also have lines for that. So once I do wheel cylinders on that, it'll be completely new, because brakes are important. Rather have good brakes than a good motor, right? Anyway, I'm going to wrap up the suspension on this side, and tomorrow I'm going to do the brakes, and getting close to throwing some fenders on. Unfortunately, had a little bit of bad luck. We had a bit of weather, and like I was showing you with all that snow, and we lost a couple big branches behind the garage, and unfortunately I was storing my fenders and some other car parts back behind the garage because I don't have room in the garage, and I mean big branches, and they came down right on the fenders. So I will be getting out the chainsaw this week and trying to uncover my stuff back there, and sawing up a bunch of wood and trying to get it to the curb. But hopefully it didn't mangle my fenders too much, because they were very savable. Really nothing wrong with them. A couple dings and dents here and there. Nothing that a little spot putty or block sanding can't cure, but now, yeah. But it is what it is. No sense crying over spilled milk, right? So we'll be getting to that this week. But until next time, thanks again for watching. Bye.